What's good? It's your boy Jerome from JeromeWilderFitness.com. Now in this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can deactivate sympathetic nervous system activity and how you can activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Alright, let's get into the video. Now, first and foremost, what is the sympathetic nervous system? Alright, the sympathetic nervous system is there to regulate the fight or flight mechanism in the body. So think about when you're driving your car and all of a sudden the car in front of you just abruptly brakes. What ends up happening? Your heart starts beating fast, your palms might get a little bit sweaty, you're jittery, you're anxious, you're feeling real tense, muscles are starting to tighten up. Alright, that's the fight or flight mechanism. And you'll realize that your breathing often becomes shallow in those moments. All right, now because those are quick instances, eventually over probably a few minutes, of course, in a few minutes, you're gonna get back into sympathetic, which you'll get back into parasympathetic, right? But for that moment, you're in sympathetic. Now this is problematic for people who deal with it prolongedly. All right. When people are in a sympathetic state for a prolonged period of time, this causes a whole host of different issues. All right, one of those issues being muscle tension. All right, you'll notice a lot of tightness in your body, a lot of stiffness, especially in the lower back area, places like that. Another thing, you'll notice anxiety. All right, anxiety will be through the roof when you're constantly in a sympathetic state. All right, also gonna break down muscle when you're more sympathetic dominant, because your body, when it's in that fight or flight state, it needs fuel. So it generally uses your muscle mass as fuel because your digestive system actually becomes compromised when you're in a sympathetic state. So you can see why this is something you don't want over a period of time. You just become too catabolic. And life is all about growth, not about breaking down. You break down for a period of time, but to grow back stronger. But if you're always breaking down, eventually you shrivel up and amount to nothing. All right, so we want to be in a state that's building, and that state is parasympathetic. So we want to activate the parasympathetic. Why? Like I said, it's a building type of state. You're more anabolic when you're in a parasympathetic state. That means growth. All right, I'm not talking like building muscle or anything like that. Yeah, that's a part of it, but it just means growth and repair for the body, rest and digest. All of those functions start to operate at a much more effective level. All right, guys, so this is something you really want to zero in on. It's not all about just working out, lifting weights, doing cardio, or even eating right? Now, of course, it's important to have a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle, but if you're sympathetic dominant, you're pretty much going to be doing all of those things for no reason, all right? All your actions are gonna be in vain. So we really wanna make sure we get into this state. So number one, let me just get into it. First thing you can do to activate the parasympathetic nervous system is meditate, all right? Meditate. So as a Christian, I meditate on the Bible, the Word of God, and there's a lot of verses in the Bible that really corroborate with the science behind meditation and parasympathetic activity, right? One being, the Lord will keep those in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee, all right? So how you're thinking, what you're thinking on can either determine you're gonna feel peace or you're gonna feel fear. Meditate on God, you feel peace. Meditate on your problems, your troubles, you might experience some fear, all right? Fight or flight, sympathetic. All right, so meditation is key. Even meditating on something positive, all right? There's many studies that show that when you think about good things, you will feel better. You'll have more energy. You'll be more relaxed. Right? A lot of people that get insomnia or wake up in the middle of the night, the reason why is because they're in sympathetic. When you're in parasympathetic, you sleep deeper. you don't wake up in the middle of the night. You feel more refreshed when you wake up. All right, so we really want to do this. And you know, there's another Bible verse that says, whatever is good, whatever is praiseworthy, whatever is of good report, whatever is true, think on these things. So there's literally a roadmap, a blueprint for how we're supposed to think in order to be in a relaxed, rest and digest state. All right, so don't take this lightly, guys. Second thing, adaptogenic herbs. Things like ashwagandha, rhodelia rosacea, what's another one? Maca root. There's a lot of other ones, but adaptogenic herbs really will help you with lowering the sympathetic activity in the body because they lower cortisol. Another thing you can take is mushrooms, not psychedelics. All right, not psychedelics. I'm talking about just mushrooms. So there's different ones. I'll put some of the names in the video. I actually recently started taking mushrooms, not shrooms, stop it. But I've noticed a lot of different benefits, especially energy-wise before my workouts from taking them. So I'm actually gonna do a separate video solely speaking about mushrooms just because I think it's worth talking about, right? They're really beneficial. Third thing is prayer. Okay, prayer is so crucial. There's actually a book that I read. It's called How God Changes Your Brain. And it talks about when you pray, and when you pray to God, you're now in a state of hope, in a state of faith. These are all separate parts of your brain that get active, that keep you in a state of peace and take away fear. All right, that's the cool thing about prayer over an extended period of time. You know, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour of prayer will actually help disconnect or rather deactivate a part of your brain called the amygdala, which is responsible for fear. All right, so you're not gonna have fear, right? The Bible even says, perfect love casteth away fear. Okay, so if God is love and you're praying to God, how can you really have fear? All right, it's impossible. Now, I'm not saying there won't be events that come about in our lives that aren't scary, but we won't actually feel the internal response. And this is what this is all about. All right, there's gonna be issues. There's gonna be things that make you want to be in sympathetic mode. But the point is to retrain yourself to not react internally at a subconscious level to those things in a negative way. All right, so prayer is really beneficial. Another thing is cold showers. All right, now the cool thing about cold showers is they're quick. All right, you know, you can do 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, get it in. It's gonna initially give you sympathetic activity because it's a shock. Your body's like, whoa, it's cold, it's freezing, right? But after you start, you know, drying off and everything, your body actually needs to recover. So it's a positive stressor on your body. So your body has to recover and has to maintain its core temperature, right? So in that process of regaining homeostasis, you're going to be activating parasympathetic activity, all right? So you're gonna feel really relaxed. Massages, we all know how beneficial those are, universally known as something that's gonna help keep you relaxed. You know, especially if you've been in sympathetic for a long time, you probably have a lot of tight muscles, especially in the legs, arms, upper body, upper back. Those areas are probably really tight, so massages can help get rid of the knots and allow you to be more limber, all right? Releasing stress in the process, keeping you more, again, in a parasympathetic state, all right? And then the last thing I put here is B vitamins, really beneficial. You can take them in the form of nutritional yeast, but it's gonna have a calming effect on your body, again, activating parasympathetic. All right, guys, this is so important. Whether you're trying to build muscle, burn body fat, you need to be relaxed. Why? Because first of all, if you're trying to eat right, but you're stressed, your body is going to literally compel you to eat bad. It's gonna compel you to eat bad, all right? Making it 10 times hard. It's already hard enough to get in shape. It's already hard enough, right? You don't wanna have your hormones working against you. Let them work for you. This body is such an amazing thing, and we can train it in such a way where it can literally be the best servant. But don't allow it to be your master. All right? Now, if you like this video, please drop a like, leave a comment below, and subscribe so we can spread the message of good health and fitness. All right? Peace.